All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ignition Gaming Weekly Brawl Week 4. I am Destrovail, and I'm going to be casting today along with my buddy Sync. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. We're a month into this now. This will be our first month, 4 full weeks, and it's pretty exciting. I hope this week goes without a hitch. We've had a little bit of problems with free agents so far, but I'm pumped. We're gonna follow a different team this week too. So for everyone who's been complaining about it, we got a different team this time. It's okay.
And what team are we following this time?
This time we're gonna be just kind of following a random group of people. We're gonna be following a free agent team known as Olympus. That'll be our team 2 right here that you'll be seeing on screen, and then team 1 is the Nafallos of Love, and then we'll be
The
following whichever team wins
Nafallos
this
of
match.
Love. All right. Well, it looks like we've got a pretty evenly matched team with both teams being around the same elo, so it should be a pretty close game. And both teams are new teams to the tournament, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys do. We're going to go ahead and get into picks and bans right here. And then the Follows of Love versus Olympus.
And we are playing on patch 4.21. So what do you think is going to be changing? You see any ban changes now that Warwick's been nerfed around? Like, how do you think that's going to play into this?
I think now that the Warwick nerfs have gone through, I think a lot of the bans are going to be targeted at mid lane. We're going to probably see some Azir bans. Soraka's still very good as well. And then with the new resurgence of Lissandra top, actually. So
Oh,
we do see
yes.
that Soraka ban going down for our first one.
Oh, I'm lagging behind on these bans. That's cool. So you're gonna have
And
to comment this whole thing.
we've actually got an Ashe ban right now over for Olympus. Maybe that's a ban targeted at wrist.
Quite possible. We're not 100% if these teams are in LCS order though. So
Oh, gotcha.
we might have to swap that one around a little bit once this game starts.
All right, well, maybe that's a target ban at the 80 carry for Nafallos of Love. And then we've got the Syndra ban going over. Syndra, a very strong champion in the meta as well. Got tons of pick potential with that very long range stun, and a Jarvan ban going over. So, got pretty spread out bans so far, one from each role. And we've got an Alistair ban as well. Alistair's always been a strong champion. Not necessarily ban worthy in high level competitive play, but he can definitely get a game rolling if you get some nice headbutt pulverizes going on.
Yeah, it's something that we've been noticing a lot of J4 picks now that the jungle has changed, and we've seen some nerfs come through on Warwick and kind of nerf on Fiddlesticks. I'm not quite sure how to put that one. That was a weird change to him, but
Yeah, it was a strange change, but we do see Warwick being banned over here, so it's going to be interesting to see what Nafallos of Love pick up. One of the big junglers that's going to be popping out and that we're going to be seeing a lot of is going to be Nocturne. Because of the changes on Dragon and Dragon's auto attacks becoming spells, his spell shield actually absorbs an entire auto attack from Dragon. So that's about 8 seconds the Dragon just is spending his animation of casting on you. Not only that, Nocturne also got a little bit of a buff on his fear. So after you tether the fear on a target, you get a move speed increase towards people that are feared. So if you're going to be ganking a lane and fearing them towards your opponent, or towards your ally that you're ganking rather, you're actually gonna get a big move speed increase on that. So Nocturne's also got a lot of sustain in the new jungle, so we'll see how that's gonna work out for these teams today.
yeah, but looks like we're gonna see Leona first pick here. That just shows that they're looking for a very aggressive maybe team fight or pick based comp coming out here. Leona can kind of do both. She's kind of a monster. She's always been like this really strong, just in your face support in the bot lane.
Yep, she's got a lot of offensive capabilities with that Solar Flare and the Zenith Blade as well in laning phase. Is definitely something that you need to look out for. If you can land those things consistently, she does a lot of
Wow.
burst damage with that passive. And Cassiopeia pick over here for Olympus. That's an interesting pick. She did just receive some buffs, so it's going to be interesting to see how well she does. I'm not sure if the buffs were large enough to merit a Cassiopeia pick this early in the stage of the competition, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, you can never neglect somebody who mains something. Actually, a little bit of research here. Riss does actually main Ashe, and he's actually a little upset about that. He decided to post something in the Twitch stream. So we know that we've seen that mains can come through time and time again. We have that guy, Antibot in
Yep.
challenge? That's his name, right? There's that guy.
Yep.
We have Aurelia carries you, but that's just because it's Aurelia.
Aurelia. Yep.
But we see it a lot in high elo play with Xerath, able to outplay a lot of champions, and same with Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is one of those like awkwardly strong mid laners, where if you can land his combo, he pretty much can beat anyone. So we'll see how the Cassiopeia pick plays out for them here. And how do you feel about this Lucian possibility?
I like Lucian. I still think even with the nerfs, Corki and Lucian are still the toply contested AD carries, as well as Graves. If you want to throw Graves in there, they all got burst damage. They have a good early game, a good laning phase, and they don't really fall off going into late game. But they're not really the hyper carries that you see like a Vayne or a Kog'Maw. But they do have a
Mhm.
lot of late game potential, just like any AD carry does, and definitely snowballs them through the mid game where they get those power spikes. And we see a Maokai as well, pretty standard pickup for the top lane. So
Yeah, there's a lot of safety in that Maokai pickup. You can't really go wrong with that. He's just this monstrous tank, and even if you lose lane phase, his ult's still effective in team fights. So very
yeah.
safe pick out of them this
And you
this
were
rotation.
saying there's also those one trick ponies in the mid lane, and I think Cassiopeia actually fits into that style of mid laner where like if you're good enough at a champion, you could really change a team fight with that ult. I mean, it is a very game changing ult, and if you have enough games on a champion like Cassiopeia, you might be able to just solo carry a game.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out for them. We're looking at maybe a hover on a Darius here in the top lane against a Maokai. How does that matchup play out?
That's an interesting matchup, and he does lock into Darius. So Darius is kind of like an AD Maokai, but a weaker version of Scion. He's got a little bit of CC. He's got the slow. He's got the pull in from his what is his E called again?
Apprehension, maybe?
There we go. Yeah, apprehend. There you go. We got the apprehend E that's definitely good to pull in some high priority targets. But the thing about Darius is he kind of gets outclassed by most bruisers in top lane. He's got a lot of damage. He's got a good early game. He's a very good bully. But Maokai is really good at sustaining out early game bullies. He's good against champions that have to use their skills to trade because he's got that passive that's just going to heal him up over and over again. And once he gets that catalyst, he's pretty much just unkillable. So I don't think that lane's going to play out too well for Darius, where we normally see like a Darius snowballing, getting lots of kills and being able to take over the game very early. But we'll see how he does in that lane.
All right, so it looks like we are going to see Vi picked up for the jungle on the side of Olympus and a Xin Zhao for the side of Nafallos of Love. Which jungler do you think has the favor here?
Vi's really strong in the new jungle. She's got that shield to help her sustain the new jungle's high damage output, and the new jungle's pretty rough, so you've got to have some sort of sustain. So Vi's shield definitely helps with that, but her early ganks pre-6 are actually very brutal if she lands that Vault Breaker. So it's going to be interesting to see how effective Marty's going to be on this Vi, and if he's going to be able to get out some of those deep ganks and deep wards to just take control of the jungle over Xin Zhao, because Xin Zhao's more of an aggressive early game jungler before 6, and then at 6 he doesn't get quite the power spike that Vi hits. So
Yeah, and
how
this is
that
what I was talking
works.
about, those one-trick ponies. We are going to see a Xerath out of the mid lane here from Nafallos of Love, so it'll be fun to see like these really high skill cap mid laners. It's literally all about their skill. Like there's no, this champion beats this champion because of this. No, this is a very, very skill-based matchup, and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens here. We are seeing a Thresh support, pretty standard there. We have a Thresh Corki bot lane. Nothing too exhilarating going to happen out of there, I believe. A
Yeah,
lot
but
of damage.
there's a lot of kill potential from both lanes actually. Thresh does counter Leona because if you time it right, you are able to flay away that Zenith Blade. But Thresh Corki is a pretty brutal lane if you ever get hooked. It's a lot of burst damage coming in at one time. It's hard to answer, and Leona Lucian's pretty much the same way. If you get a good Zenith Blade on their AD carry, that's going to be a lot of burst damage coming in. And it's interesting to see that Leona's actually opting for exhaust instead of ignite, because I would think with a lane like that you'd want to go for some kill pressure.
Yeah. Um, Maybe she's playing it just for a little bit of safety, but I'm not 100% in agreement with it because there's a lot of true damage on the side of Olympus here, and we have the damage over time on Wine, so there's not going to be a whole lot that Exhaust is going to do for you. There's not a really heavy assassin for you to be popping that out with.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, actually, like noting that there is a lot of true damage coming out because doesn't Vi have a armor break into true damage? Or it's
Yep, her
basically true damage, right? It, it,
Her W, I believe. Let me check. So, it just deals bonus damage. So her W
yeah.
actually denting blows just deals bonus damage and breaks her opponent's armor. So that does give a little bit of an armor penetration buff to Vi. So we are going to see a lot of true damage, and then Corki's passive as well. Does true damage and true damage from Darius ult. So there is a lot of true damage, and I don't know
And
if Exhaust is going to be too helpful against that.
Yeah, and then commenting on that denting blows that you were just talking about, how it breaks out armor. We have that, and then we have Darius with an armor shred and Corki's armor shred. So that's also it's a lot of
That's a lot
resistances
of
getting
armor
shred
shred,
here.
yeah.
So again, pretty much true damage coming out of the Olympus team here. Looking at the team comp, it's pretty clear what Nafallos of Love want to do here. They have a very pokey into a very, very heavy engage followed up by Leona's and Maokai. So you have Xerath to just kind of poke them down, get off a little bit of damage beforehand, and then their entire team's just going to follow out. But what do you think Olympus is looking to do here? They kind of have a little bit of everything coming out.
So I think what Olympus is trying to capitalize on is strong laners. You see Darius is a strong lane, Corky Thrush is a very strong lane, Vi is a strong early ganker too. I'm not sure how Cassiopeia is going to do because I haven't really seen a lot of her, so I can't really commentate on that. But we've got the strong laners, right? And we see over on the Falls of Love side, they're trying to get an early game lead with a lot of early game skirmishes with the Maokai, the Leona, the Xin Shao. They've got a lot of early game power as well. But their laning phase isn't necessarily as strong as the laning phase from Olympus. Olympus has a lot of pick potential with the Vi and the Thresh, and they're able to set up ganks very easily. If Vi goes in and gets a nice gank on mid lane as well, Cassiopeia might get snowballing as well. So I think they're going to be looking for early dragons, early skirmishes, and they're going to be able to play their game. And Nafallos of Love might be trying to adjust to their own game, but we'll see how it works out in the end.
Back to your own note, you just brought up the early dragons. I feel like those might actually end up falling to the side of Nafallos of Love. We are seeing a teleport on the side of Maokai, but an ignite on the side of Darius. So we might end up having a 5v4 in that bot lane. So that might be interesting to see how that one plays out for us.
It's interesting that you should point that out. That is an ignite in the top lane, and that ignite might be a little bit more pressure to maybe just inch over that edge of not being able to kill the unkillable tree in top lane, and maybe he'll be able to chop it down with his axe. Lumberjack Darius incoming.
New skin confirmed.
I don't know. With Dunkmaster Darius out there, I don't think we'll ever need a new Darius skin.
That's all you ever need. All right, looking purely at our team comps here, who do you think has the advantage in this game?
I'm going to give the advantage over to Olympus here, just because I think if this guy knows how to play Cassiopeia, Wine here, if he knows how to play Cassiopeia, it's going to be a huge asset in fights for them.
Yeah, we know that Cassiopeia ult is game-changing. I remember, I believe a year and a half ago, maybe two, there was a huge uproar because I think it was Froggen actually landed this huge 5-man ult over wall by Baron and stunned everybody. And it's game-changing. It's just like an Orianna ult. But I feel like it's an actual stun, and it lasts a little bit longer and gives Cassiopeia time to get off a lot of damage during that little period of time she's going to have. All right, so looking at the skin war here, I'm still waiting for Signy to load, but I do believe Nafallo has won here with a 3-1 from what I'm seeing so far.
3-1 skin war, which means even if Signy does have that skin, it's going to be over to, and he doesn't. Everyone's got classic skins over on Olympus.
Yeah, me and Nick discussed this last week, though. Olympus does win the Boot War. It is 4-2.
True.
And you got that Vi. Off it. Better than a pool.
You know, maybe Olympus is going with the Faker effect, where they just don't use skins because they're so good at these champions that they don't even need to use skins.
Actually, notably, Faker's been using skins this season in OGN. Yeah, I was watching SKT1 versus Najin, and he was running skins, and I was like, oh, would you look at that? Something's changing.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you're breaking your own coolness, man. Alrighty, so it looks like we're going to hop into game one of the night with Olympus versus Nafallos of Love. And we are favoring Olympus here, you said, correct?
Yeah, Olympus.
Yeah. Alright. Now, what lane do you think is going to be the game-changing lane? I'm going to say mid, and I think you're going to say mid as well with this Cassiopeia Xerath. Yep,
exactly. I just want to see how these lane bullies go out mid. Both Xerath and Cassiopeia are actually known to be lane bullies, and they're a little bit infamous in higher elos for being scripters. They've got that Xerath script and Cassiopeia script, so people are a bit frustrated when they go against that. So maybe both of these guys are scripters and they just hit skill shots left and right. It's just whoever can click the buttons faster.
Yeah, we'll see. And there's actually, like, we were talking about it a little bit, but the buff on Cassiopeia was pretty huge, honestly. She's getting increased damage from her poison now. She's getting increased damage. All of her stacks come off of her poison now. Like, it's all about maxing that Q. And if this guy can land his Qs, then, you know, it might end up working out super, super well for them. I love Cassiopeia. I have for a while, but she kind of fell out. And maybe we'll see her come back with this recent change they made.
Yep, I don't think Cassiopeia fell out because she's like necessarily a bad champion. I don't think she's a bad champion at all. I think it's because of her inconsistencies, and we'll have to see if these buffs to the champion kind of fix those inconsistencies, because you can't argue that an ult like that, like an ult like Cassiopeia's ult, isn't game changing, because it is. Like, it can completely turn the tides of a game very quickly.
Yep, yeah, we are seeing pretty standard starts across the board. We are seeing a pink ward actually out of Thresh to start the game. That's pretty exciting to see. Maybe some early vision. Oh, he just traded out. Oh, he placed it. I'm sorry. Yep. Placed it. So that's actually very, 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 very safe spot for that early pink ward. It'd be there pretty much all game. And looks like we do have a pause. Looks like Nafallos of Love top laner as not connected yet. So we're gonna be holding out for that.
Wrist, or is that Wristy or Wrist? What should we?
I'm just call him Wrist.
All right, Wrist.
A summoner has reconnected.
Alrighty, looks like he's back in the game now. So, pretty standard starts except for that Thresh start you mentioned. He does have that defensive pink ward out by his red buff, so that's going to give them a little bit of a vision advantage in case they're the Nafallos of Love were looking for an invade with that early game Xin Shao or something like that. One of Vi's weaker points is when she doesn't have all three abilities, and Xin Shao is actually pretty good just working with his E and his Q, so he would maybe be able to get one of those early invades going on Vi if they hadn't gotten the defensive ward. So I actually do like that decision that Dark Xerox made.
That's pretty exciting to see, and maybe we'll see maybe some level 1 skirmish stones bot lane. Probably not. I've yet to see it all tournament. I think you guys had one, the game that I did not cast last week in the finals, but
yeah, it was pretty intense. It was a pretty intense level 1 skirmish. Lots of stuff went on, but
I want to see Sion again. That's what I want to see.
I'm sure we're going to be seeing Sion. We've got a lot of people in these weekly tournaments that do like Sion a lot over Maokai, and Sion's an exciting champion to watch. You've got the bell tolls and the 18-minute team fights that we've got to cast. So
that was great. I do believe we highlighted that, so I believe that's gonna be coming up on the YouTube. So be sure to check that out. It's pretty simple. It's Ignition Gaming YT. If y'all want to hit that up, or below our stream, we have all that information, all of our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, our website, everything like that. Be sure to check us out. So we are going to be seeing a 3-man start down here on the golems. A little bit out of the norm because we've been seeing that blue side bottom generally starting that double golems to get themselves that early level 2. They are neglecting that early 2 CS for the level 2, but it ends up working out for them. But we're not going to be seeing that this time around.
Yep, both junglers just opting to take away the bot side start, and they're not going to be starting top side, so both laners are going to get to lane just on time for the wave. And standard lanes.
Oh. Hopefully we get some excitement out of this mid lane. I'm really excited to see how this Cassiopeia plays out.
Trading back and forth in bot lane, we got the phosphorus bomb going off from Signy. And no trade back from WinstonJ.com.
Wonder if that's a real website. Ooh, Darius with a lot of poke
man,
up on top lane.
Yep, lots of poke in top lane, and Maokai's actually going to be forced to chug some of those pots up in that top lane. He did start Flask, so he'll be able to sustain up some of that damage, but a big trade going out from Hyper Monkey Boy, and if that Ignite is anything of his saying of his playstyle, we're going to see that he's going to be going aggressive in that lane all game.
Yeah, something to note, that 12-1 CS difference on that top lane. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a perfect CS Darius against a 1 CS Maokai.
How do you feel about the Flask start? Do you think maybe a Cloth 5 or a wow, the invade out of Darius here, dropping the ward down on blue and actually stopping Xin Zhao here? This is very aggressive, Darius. You were totally right on this regard.
Yep, Olympus is really looking to put on the early game pressure, and I said they've got the strong lanes, and Nafallos of Love doesn't look like, oh, we got a Zenith Blade off in bot lane. A nice trade goes off to Corki, forced to blow the exhaust. Phosphorus Bomb goes back, and they get the hook onto Winston. Oh man, another exhaust traded back, and it's just going to be a trade of exhaust down in that bot lane, but well played by both supports to hit all their skill shots.
Looks like we have both junglers rotating top right now, actually. Xin Zhao coming right up through the river.
Yeah, there's going to be action up here. He looks like he wants to go in for an E, and he does, but Vi's just around the corner waiting, and no ward, but the Spidey senses might be enough right now. Yep.
Trying to bait it out.
Vi just says, alright, I'll recall. I'll get my items.
We are seeing a bit of an early CS difference down here on bot lane, 8 CS in the favor of Lucian. There's about 3 minions in the wave, so it's not too much, but it is enough.
Ooh, getting aggressive in mid lane here. Xerath actually does hit a stun, and Xin Shao's coming around for the backside. He gets the flash onto it, and first blood going over for Nafallo from the Nafallos of Love. Well played, and a nice gank from him.
Yeah, Xerath actually got a little bit aggressive there. He's actually standing on that poison the whole time. Had Cassiopeia had just a little bit more damage, he might have been able to pull that out, but solid gank from Nafallo nonetheless. First blood on the side of Nafallos of Love with this huge 700 gold difference out of the beginning here. I think most that's in regards to that early kill and assist and the 10 CS difference on bot lane, but I guess that's kind of evened out by our top lane here with this Darius absolutely rolling over this Maokai.
Yep, and Wine looks like he's going to be going for that tier, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get the tier the first back because of that well-timed gank from Nafallo, so. Oh, we got some action going down in bot lane. Vi was trying to get a gank, a flash hook comes down and just barely misses on Goblin. Man.
That was a very aggressive play by that Thresh, burning out his flash now he's down. Nafallo getting a lot of damage down here on Vi.
Yep, oh man, the flash Zenith Blade just going to barely miss, and Vi's going to be forced to flash over the wall as well, so. A lot of action down in that bot lane, and these junglers are just absolutely bloodthirsty today.
Yeah, they're very, very aggressive. We are going to see an early tier coming out of Cassiopeia here soon. But something that I was commenting back on earlier, how did you feel about that flask on Maokai? Do you think he should have gone Cloth 5 or maybe a Dorn Shield, or do you think that that flask is going to work out better for him in the long run?
You know, I like that you pointed out Cloth 5 because we don't really see that start often. I think he was just trying to go for a little bit more of a conservative start against the Darius, but Darius is such an early game bully that Cloth 5 might just be the best build against him. So.
Yeah, Darius is just one of those champions like Pantheon that you might need to start Cloth 5 against, like those super aggressive early bruisers on bot lane.
So, again, CS lead in bot lane, traded for the CS lead in top lane for Nafallos of Love. We've got Lucian up on CS by about 12 CS, and inversely, we've got Darius up on about 12 CS as well. He's at 14, so he's got the aggressive item up there, and Maokai doesn't quite have his Catalyst yet, so he's not quite unkillable, but he should be soon.
Looking at these jungle item starts, we are going to see a Skirmisher's Blade, or Stalker's Blade coming out of Vi. How do you feel about that start with the recent minor change to it?
You know, I like that start. I really like the Chilling Smite, actually. It sets up ganks really nicely. It does a little bit of damage, like more damage than you would expect it to deal, and it's a really good tool for junglers that have the skill shots like the Lee Sin, like the Vi, maybe even Xin Shao, just to follow up on the gank, really be able to secure that kill. I like it. I like the choice.
Yeah, notably, we actually are seeing a lot of early trinket changes coming out of Olympus here. We have a Scrying Orb already on the side of Thresh, which is good to see. But we do have I'm sorry, not a Scrying Orb, Sweeper's Lens, but we do have a Scrying Orb on Cassiopeia. So that's a bit interesting out of the mid lane to see.
Yeah, that is. Oh man, Vi going in for the counter gank. They do have the pink ward, but a nice twisted advance by Maokai over the edge, and they're going to be taking a lot of damage. Darius is going to get the ult off. Both people are going to die, and this is going to be a jungle fight right now in this. And the Chilling Smite does come out. Vi's going to go those denting blows off, but I think she's biting off a little bit more than she can chew, and Darius, he's going to try to come in as well. Xin Shao does get the kill onto Vi, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade for the side of Nafallos of Love.
I feel like Vi could have gotten that kill and traded 1-for-1 there, even under tower. She decided to charge up her Q because she thought she might have been able to get away, but had she opted to turn and get that damage off with her Q and a quick auto in, the tower might have been able to clean up Xin Zhao there.
Yep, I agree with you. A little bit of a misplay there by Marty, but he does have the jungle pressure going on. We do see a little bit better vision control over from the side of Olympus, so even though the early aggression is going over in favor of Nafallos of Love, we're going to see how that vision plays out on these early dragons and how these skirmishes are going to work out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, notably our largest CS difference is going to be in this bot lane. This Lucian is definitely having his heyday down here against this Corki. Do you think the changes were that big to each of these champions that Lucian can kind of comfortably be ahead of Corki now?
I really just think that it's Gablin on this Leona is really scaring away
Cassiopeia coming down with the gank.
Yeah, she's coming down with the gank. We see the Zenith Blade just barely missing, but she decided to turn around. Corki does get a nice phosphorus bomb, but oh man, that damage coming down to Cassiopeia throws down the ult, and that's going to be a kill for Wine.
I do believe the ult was a misclick, but that was a lot of damage. Looks like Cass
stun down on Cassiopeia. She's getting locked down with a lot of damage from Xerath. A nice stun by Spidey.
We are seeing a 3-0 Xin Zhao now, and he's going to start snowballing that lead. He also opted to go for Stalker's Blade, and he has his Warrior upgrade already, so it's going to show how much gold he has on him.
Yep, the culling used on Dragon. It looks like Vi's looking for a steal or at least some sort of action down here, and Dragon's going to be getting pretty low, but so is Xin Shao. Here comes Vi charging up the Ball Breaker. They're going to try to back off, but she's going to back off too, and they're going to take the drag. It looks like, oh man, there we go. Xin Shao does secure the Dragon, and a stun goes down onto Vi, but both teams just opt to back away. So, a Dragon over for the favor of Nafallos of Love. Pause comes
looks
down.
like we have a DC. Something to note in that last little trade, though, Vi definitely could have stolen that had the Xerath stun missed. Looked like Xin Zhao didn't have a smite up for that trade, and that was pretty close. Oh, it looks like Cassiopeia DC'd.
Yep.
That's a bummer.
The ult was just too much for her computer to take.
The backwards ult into nothingness. It happens.
It is interesting that you pointed out that Vi was actually looking for that Dragon Steel, and a well-timed stun from Spidey actually stopped that from going through because Xin Shao didn't have his smite. So Spidey's getting really good on these stuns. He's hitting pretty much all of them.
Yeah, and we saw Dragon get as low as 15 health, so we definitely could have seen a steal come through quite easily with Vi. Still had smite up that whole time, was looking for it, but just didn't feel like it was worth it to die into 3 people and give out that global gold in return. So,
or it actually doesn't give global gold anymore. It's just the buff.
I mean, like,
oh, the global gold
I mean like the gold to the people involved in the kill. So that would have been 3 people involved in a kill, and that's a lot of gold being spread out, especially for someone who's 1-1. So she's still worth full gold at this point in time. So
Gotcha. Thought you were talking about drag, and I'm like, we're on the smoke weed every day patch here, or actually we're not. We're on the smoke weed 1 day patch, the 421.
Yeah, 421. We are okay. I commented on CS differences here, but we're definitely seeing a huge CS lead top lane as well. Darius is pretty much up double CS here, and that's pretty scary.
Yeah, but Maokai did get that catalyst. He is a little bit unkillable, and until Darius does finish off either that Hydra or that Lost Whisper, whatever he's building, until Darius does finish off that first item, probably a Hydra, we're not going to see too much kill pressure up there unless Vi comes around for a gank, just because with that catalyst, Maokai is very tanky. He's got the flask, he's got some pots. He's going to stay in that lane for a long time.
Yeah. That's something we talked about earlier, is Maokai just kind of this immovable champion in lane, and it's definitely going to be prevalent here soon unless Darius starts getting some tankiness to stand there and trade against him. The pure tankiness is going to prevail for him. We talked about this a few tournaments ago, where damage is like the least scaling stat in the game. So tankiness rules over all.
And we did see up in that gank in top lane when both junglers came up there, we did see a little bit of an outplay by Wrist, actually avoiding that vault breaker by Twisted advancing onto Hyper Monkey Boy. So really well played by him. He's got the mechanics. It's just, it looks like his CS just isn't quite there quite yet. And what else would you expect from a Darius lane?
We are going to be hopping back into the game. Cassiopeia is back, and get back into the action here. Seeing some stackable items coming out on this Cassiopeia, so give her some time. She might not be too effective mid-game, but we are seeing a tier on her, and she looks like she's building into a catalyst. So once that 20-minute mark hits, be scared for this chick. She's be doing lots of damage. We saw how much damage she did earlier coming down on that bot lane. Those twin fangs now, that was insane.
Yeah, and that was just with that that Doran's ring. That was actually just with the Doran's ring. There was no tier at that point, and a lot of damage from those twin fangs.
Yeah. We are seeing Lucian pick up his BF sword and a second Doran's blade here. Maybe a little bit of wasted gold, but it'll give him that early to mid game pressure he needs. Corki picking up the Sheen at this point now. A lot of extra bursts going to be coming out of him in lane as well.
Yep,
and a second Doran for him.
Yeah, even though the Sheen is a little bit less expensive, it still does give about the same power spike for Corki as this BF sword's for Lucian. A little bit more AD over to the side of Lucian, but Corki can capitalize very easily off the Sheen procs, and with that longsword as well, I feel like the gold's about even in that lane.
We're seeing a first item buy as a chain vest on this Thresh, neglecting the Sightstone in this game. Not too sure about that one.
It's interesting to see if they're going to go for an extended laning phase here, getting that chain vest to kind of counteract the BF sword from Lucian. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and if they try to extend this laning phase to see how Marty's going to be playing out his. And it looks like Marty gets a nice flash gank off on Xerath in the mid lane. The CCs are going to be chained, and well, that's a bop onto Spidey. Nice gank there by Vi.
That was a solid CC chain. You know, for being a free agent team, that was very, very well coordinated between those two.
Absolutely.
They staggered the CC properly. Vi got her Q off. Waited for that to wait a second. Popped her ult. Got that down. Wait a second on that one. Moment after that, Cassiopeia ult, and Xerath just kind of stood there and died. Couldn't do a whole lot except blow his barrier, apparently.
Cry and blow barrier.
Lion putting out a lot of damage on Nafallos under this tower here in mid lane. We just rolled away from it here a second ago, but it's kind of showing the power of this Cassiopeia that we were talking about.
Yep, those one-trick ponies. It's 2-2 on this Cassiopeia, and those 2 deaths can basically just be neglected at this point because those 2 kills are what she's going for. She's got a big gold lead right now in mid lane, and is going to be able to stack up that tier and start stacking up her Roa too if she opts to build that.
Yeah, it looks like we have bot lane roaming mid, though. We might be seeing again coming down on this Cassiopeia. We did scout them out earlier, down with this bush ward on River on bot side.
Yep, and we actually did see Maokai using that TP up in top lane, so it's not going to be up for the next dragon. And Darius, we were saying, doesn't have TP, so the advantage for summoner spells is actually going to go over in favor of Hyper Monkey Boy. A nice stun off. Wow, Spidey hits a big combo onto Wine in that mid lane, and that's going to be a lot of chunk damage.
That was a lot of damage, and we actually are finally seeing that pink ward from the first minute of the game going down on the side of Olympus.
Got a gank coming in, Twisted Advance goes onto Wine. He just overextended a little bit too much, and with no vision control, Maokai and Xerath pick up a free kill in mid lane.
Yeah, we're seeing this. We have 2 very immobile mids, and they're going to be very susceptible to these ganks. So we're going to see how much we're going to see Vi counter pressure this lane, because we have been seeing Cassiopeia get ganked time and time again here, but
two very immobile mid laners, and it shows in their scores. The majority of the kills right now, four on the side over from Xerath and 5 from Cassiopeia. So there's a lot of action going on in mid lane, and you can tell it's because there's those immobile AP mages that neither team really wants to see scaling into late game. Looks like Leona's going for an engage. A nice Xena played on the Corki. Is this going to be the burst? It is, but Vi's coming in for the counter gank. The exhaust goes off, but the thresh hook just barely misses. The ult goes off onto Lucian, and there's going to be a lot of damage coming out. A nice solar flare onto Vi to pick up one of them. Vi gets exhausted as well on the backside, and Corki's going to be getting the damage. The big one comes in, gets Leona very low, but Lucian looks like he's going to be able to pick up a kill on the backside. Thresh doesn't quite get the hook, and he goes in again for a nice E. Is Vi going to be able to turn around? Meanwhile, in top lane, a lot of action going down. Xerath's going to get a stun, and a kill onto Darius.
That was a lot of action for you to be commentating. I applaud you on that, sir. We went from bot lane to top lane and way back. How do you feel that trade, obviously, for the side of Nafallos of love here, but I'm not quite sure what happened in bot lane. It looked like Thresh kind of stood still at one point for a second and accepted his death.
Yeah, you know, Winston and Galvin in that bot lane actually just 2v3'd. I mean, that was a really good job by them to be able to do that, and they secured vision in mid side too, so they're going to see this Cassiopeia roam coming down.
30 CS difference on that bot side for Lucian here. That's definitely showing the way his gameplay is playing out. That's a lot of push coming out of Zinzao. We know he's notorious for that amazing split push with his WQ combo. Tons of damage on towers. A lot of strategic diversity coming out.
Nafallos of Love is looking like they're playing this early game aggression comp that Olympus wanted to play, and they're just playing it a little bit better. We see another nice combo onto Cassiopeia. That's more than half her health at this point. If you get 2 of those off on Xerath, she's just going to bop. Or she might bop anyway. Got a nice ult coming out. She's going to try to juke it, and she does get the juke off. Whew.
That was a close one.
Call.
Oh,
so
jeez.
Spidey is confirmed not scripting.
All right. No confirmation on Cassiopeia at this point.
Yeah. She's hit a lot of those poisons.
You know, it's very scripted-like for you to ult backwards. So, wow, a lot of damage coming out on Winston under the tower here from Signy. You know, like Corki poke is notorious, but the CS differences across the board are pretty, like, none of them are close. If you're looking at it, none of them are even kind of close. We have a 50 CS difference out of top lane. 12 in the jungle, which actually, it's a fair amount for a jungler, you know. 12 CS, that's like 3 camps worth, maybe 4, depending on how you look at it. We have 25 coming out of the mid lane, and a solid 30 coming out of the bot lane. And even Leona...
Yeah, I was going to say, even Leona, and I mean, it's something that you can easily neglect. Leona and Thresh both actually going for that Relic Shield, but, it looks like Vi's going to be going for a gank, but Leona's Spidey senses might be tingling. She blocks it for her 80 carry, but he's going to get ulted on the backside. A Solar Flare goes in again, blocks the hook. The good guy support taking all the CC for his 80 carry and steps out of there. The great play by Calvin to sacrifice his life for Winston so that he could continue to CS under turret.
That was a solid play by Leona there to sacrifice himself for the ADC, but you know, there is still a kill coming out for the side of Signy here on that Corki, and we know Corki with a huge mid-game spike and easily snowball the champion. Nafallo getting a lot of damage on Xerox.
Thresh. Oh man, a flash from Nafallo to finish up the kill.
Wow, Xerox is definitely falling behind here. We were talking about it just a second ago where he did start this Relic Shield, but he only has 2 CS. So the effectiveness of that item is just not there for him, and his gold income is very, very minimal.
Yeah, but looks like he's going to try to come down and get this kill onto Lucian right now. We got Signy coming in. He's got to be missing those rockets, and Zinchao's going to get the knockoff. A nice flash away, but Xerath's over on the wrong side. Didn't quite predict where he was, and a lot of damage coming out of that Xerath to pick up the kill onto Signy.
And the name of this game seems to be rotations. We're seeing a lot of good team rotations from the side of Nafallos of Love here.
Yep, and inversely, we also see a lot of good rotations coming out from Olympus too. It's just Nafallos does have the vision control on that bottom half of the map, and it looks like Olympus have opted for the top side vision control with Darius buying that pink ward and the green ward, but they're not making the plays in the top side of the map. They're making the plays in the bottom lane. So that's the reason these plays are going in favor of the Nafallos of Love.
Yup. Alrighty, let me do some research on the build paths here. We are seeing Thresh, Max. Why is it not showing me? Awkward. Okay, we are seeing a Q Max out of Thresh here. Not 100%. If you're going to go Relic Shield, I generally would go E to make sure you get that execute damage. Maybe that's attributing to that 4 CS that he has on that Thresh here. We're seeing a whopping 0 gold out of his Targon sprays actually this game. So
Yeah, for the most part, you can usually Optimex Q as Thresh and just make sure you know how to last hit on support. But if you got like a ping or not very good at last hitting, I would say go for E2. Oh, we see that chilling smite come down on a Cassiopeia flash ult, but just barely whiffs. Definitely not scripting. Xin Zhao gets the kill. Another kill for Nafallo. 6-0-2. Blade of the Ruined King. This guy is huge.
Oh, we're seeing another DC here on Vi. Probably gonna be waiting for the pause here in just a moment, or maybe he's just rage quit. You never know. You know, I'd be a little upset seeing Cassiopeia whiff ult a couple times, and we are seeing the 0 gold Targon's Brace out of this Thresh here.
So, connection issues going down on both sides. They must have Comcast or something.
Oh man, it's that Walmart internet.
Walmart internet. Gotta get yourself Verizon Fios. Come on, guys. Now we see, it looks like Nafallo's rotating over for this dragon, and that's gonna be the second dragon for them. So, with that kill onto Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia doesn't have her flash or her ult or ignite, no summoner spells. And we also know that Corki doesn't have summoner spells either. So this fight should be pretty one-sided, as long as Leona can hit that solar flare.
So what do you think we're going to have to see out of Olympus here to come back from this game? Because they're slowly falling behind. We're seeing a 4.9 thousand gold lead for the side of Nafallos of Love.
Yeah, I mean, Nafallos of Love getting a lot of early game picks, a lot of early game pressure around the whole map. I mean, Wine on that Cassiopeia, he's doing an alright job, but so much ganking pressure coming out from Nafallo on that Xin Zhao, and I'm going to be surprised if we don't see bans thrown out on him for the rest of the tournament on that.
Yeah, that Xin Zhao is definitely showing how strong it is this time around. You know, you gave it to Vi early on, but we're just seeing the skirmisher pressure that Xin Zhao has in that 1v1, and he has a finished Blade, and that's just going to give him so much chase potential with Chilling Smite. Sorry, Chilling Smite on top of the Blade, that's a lot of slows coming out, plus his E, you know, that's a lot of stackable chase you got coming out. What should we talk about, sir? We need some filler. Hello? Well, I guess it's just me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll fill some time with some riddles. First riddle. What is greater than God, more evil than the devil? The rich need it, the poor have it, and if you eat it, you'll die. Go. Do 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 do. About how amazing head hell is. I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry to say, sir. You've been spamming laugh this whole time. Test. Hello.
Okay. Well, I've got to switch back over to my headset mic because it looks like my desktop microphone decided to poop out on me.
Well, that happens. That's okay.
Sorry about that one. Anyways, I was talking about we do see Boots of Swiftness going over to Maokai in top lane.
Wow.
He's going those probably to catch up to that Cassiopeia in case she gets those Qs off. Were you here when I talked about the death cap? Did you hear the death cap?
No.
Okay, I was saying, I like the aggressive build. We see the death cap coming out for Xerath. He's not opting for the double Morellonomicon stuff. He's going straight for that death cap, double door into the death cap. IE over on Lucian. Bork and Chilling Smite for Xin Zhao. A lot of power spikes hit right now for the side of Nafallos of Love. So if we do end up coming back into this game, it's going to be pretty one-sided dragon fight if Olympus opts to fight into it.
Oh jeez. Okay. So it looks like Marty will be reconnecting here soon. Apparently there's a rainstorm. A friend of mine, kind of. He messaged me on League. He's like, "Oh, there's a rainstorm. We'll be back in soon." So maybe we'll be catching that. Maybe he's just getting back on. We do have that 3-minute delay. We have to keep in mind.
Yep.
So I had asked you beforehand, what do you think Olympus needs to do to win this game? And I quite didn't catch. We should go over that again. I'm sorry. I'm in a space.
Okay. Carl, 1 second.
You're fine. The answer to my riddle, ladies and gentlemen, was nothing. I posted in Twitch chat. If you didn't catch that, we're good to go. Nothing. Nothing is greater than God. Nothing is more evil than the devil. Rich need nothing. The poor have nothing. And if you eat nothing, you'll die. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, now for jokes.
Okay, so
Okay,
what they
never
need
mind,
to do
no
to win this game. My mic is not working. I'm gonna.
No, you're good.
I'm
I
gonna,
can hear you.
I'm
I
gonna
can
call
hear
the other mic.
Oh. Okay.
I'm gonna call Mythbrand and say you sent me a faulty mic. Just kidding.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
So what they need to do to get back into this game is stall it out. They've got Cassiopeia and Corki. Corki's gonna be able to hit his mid-game spike once he gets that Triforce and maybe a Last Whisper on top of that. And Cassiopeia's gonna be able to hit her mid-game spike once she's got the Roa stacking. So we need both these carries to hit their mid-game spikes. Darius isn't behind. He's still got a 50 CS lead up on Maokai in that top lane. He needs to be going for some more aggressive kills. No one's showing up there. He's got the vision control. He knows that no one's showing up there, so he needs to be a little bit more aggressive with his summoner spells. He's using that ignite. He's got his flash up. I want to see some solo kills up in that lane, and then again, stalling the game out, conceding dragons, trying to stall it out to like 40, 50 minutes and getting your core items, and then trying to get a big team fight with a Vi ult, Cassiopeia ult, maybe a Thresh ult too, and having Darius clean it all up.
For sure. Oh, geez, something we were talking about though is the Thresh still does not have this Sightstone, and we were talking about it here a minute ago. It's how heavily sided this ward coverage is. You know, we're seeing a lot of wards from Nafallo and not too many coming out of Olympus.
Yep. Oh man, action up in top lane. Darius gets a big poke, but back down on bot side there. It looks like they're going to be contesting this dragon. Pink ward goes down in the pit. They're going to clear out the ward.
And we're going to see them start this. This will be a 4v4. Maokai does have TP, so we'll see if that comes into play. Looks like they're just going to pick it up with Xerath zoning them out super hard with that damage.
Yep, lots of damage coming out from Xerath, and they did concede the dragon, and they're opting to just try to scale into late game.
Yeah, there's not too much exciting going on. We do have a finished Infinity Edge coming out from Lucian now, so hopefully Corki will get his Triforce here to be able to trade back some of that damage.
Yep. Oh man, a nice phosphorus bomb going over from Signy. But it looks like Leona's looking for a Zenith Blade right now. And to be completely frank with you, they might be able to dive this. They've got enough damage, and it looks like they're going for it. He gets the nice Zenith Blade, the W as well. Tons of damage going on to Corki. Pops the passive, and the ult's not even used right there, but Lucian's taking up too many turret shots. He gets the exhaust, goes down. Leona probably doesn't want to engage this one. Heal goes down as well, and they're trying to get out of there, but a nice hook comes down from Thresh. The play back into the turret, flash away. They're just trying to delay them a little bit more.
Cassiopeia's here, though.
On the backside, and wow, as Zenith Blade goes in, and he actually misses the E over the wall. The flash goes over from Leona. A nice Q. That's what that Scrying Orb is for, but the ult just barely misses. Leona's ult was very good on point with that one. Solar Flare is going to stun up Cassiopeia, but the ult over the wall from her not going to be able to hit, and that's going to be a 1-for-0.
Wine's just breaking my heart here, man. Landing these beautiful Qs and like tons of damage coming out on Cassiopeia, and I'm really rooting for it from my heart. But these ults, we've yet to see one solid one connect outside of that gank in mid lane where we had the CC chain where it was just handed to him on golden platter.
Yep, a little bit off point there with these Cassiopeia ults. Almost had it, and like you were saying, the poisons are landing, the twin fangs are landing, point clicks, but not the ults. The ones.
Something we didn't catch off screen though is we did have a Xin Zhao gank come out on top lane and get a free Darius kill out. So Maokai was able to take that top lane tower, and Darius, though he is up on CS, is fallen very, very far behind on XP and general just presence. We have a 1-1-4 Maokai and an 0-3-1 Darius, so we can see the difference in the usefulness of the team, and that's partially in hand through that teleport.
Yep, I think Wrist has finally become that unkillable, immovable object that we've talked about so much that Maokai is. There's nothing that Darius is going to be able to do about it. It looks like some action coming down here. It looks like Xerath's going to be going for a gank. Don't have the solar. Oh, we do have the solar flare coming up, and looks like they're going to be going for a dive. A Zenith Blade just going to barely whiff, but Thresh is on the wrong side of the turret. The hook hits the minion, and here comes the stun. The CC chain goes down. With that Infinity Edge and crits, oh man, some action coming off in mid lane here, and wow, Nafallo is legendary is correct. Legendary enough to two-shot that Cassiopeia. Wine is just not tanky enough right now to compete with the 8-0-2s in Shao.
This Zhao is definitely making the plays. We're seeing a lot of damage coming out from him this game, and looks like he might be opting for a Triforce. Most notably, he has to opt for a Triforce. You don't have him Phage built into anymore, but that's going to be a lot of damage coming out of him. But there is the downside of that is if Cassiopeia does get off a solid ult, she can probably 100-0 him because pretty squished right now.
Yep, some nice vision control. A nice stun goes off over the wall onto Zin, or Vi rather, and a solar flare to pick up the kill on the backside of the wall. Well placed solar flare by Gavilan.
Darius got sided out here. Scrying coming down on top of him. Looks like he's trying to run away. Wow.
Ooh, the flash twisted advance, and here comes the Zenith Blade. A lot of damage coming down on Lucian though. Is the Ignite going to be enough to kill him? No, it's not. A well-timed shield from Gavilan.
That definitely would have killed him had that shield not been there from that Leona to save him, but that was a lot of damage coming from this Darius. Was not expecting that for sure, let me tell you.
Me either. With 0-4? Oh, sorry. With 0-4 on this Darius, I didn't think he was going to do that much damage.
Why'd you yawn? Oh god.
Sorry, yawns are contagious. It's because it's raining here in California, and rain makes me sleepy.
I bet everyone watching the stream is probably in the yawn right now.
They're just like, oh my god, GG yawns.
GG yawns. That is a thing that is happening. Yawns are contagious through the internet. It is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, well, looks like Olympus is trying to get back into this game, just channeling farm onto those carries. Cassiopeia and Corki getting the majority of the farm. Vi's coming in for a gank on the Xin Shao, but I think she's just going to try to clear the wave out. Maybe. She does have her Assault and Battery up, so we're going to see if she's going to get that. Meanwhile, Maokai getting a lot of poke damage, and she goes for a Vault Breaker, and there's the Assault and Battery. Here comes Darius on the backside as well. She's going to be able to get those denting blows off. Another nice Vault Breaker comes in, and Darius is going to finish it off with the upper hand, and wow! A well-timed ult from Xin Shao.
Fresh
Just
with the
barely
KS.
dies, and
Oh my gosh.
Fresh with the kill secure, but wow, that play was awesome by Nafallos.
That was a phenomenal Xin Zhao ult. My goodness. But Thresh did get a kill there. Not positive
man.
that was the best call, but
Oh man, Cassiopeia getting a little bit caught out here. Who's the kill gonna go to? Hopefully not Leona. She's not gonna be a scumbag, but she might have to. Oh, and that snipe from Xerath. Spidey on Xerath, hitting all those skill shots. Spidey scripter confirmed.
thought we denied it earlier.
We did, but now it's confirmed.
He turned
No
it on.
judge.
He's like, I have to try. We're pulling a Fnatic here, right? Where they cheated at CSGO. Did you hear about that? That's
I
crazy.
did hear about that. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Huge name to be
Be cheap.
exploiting like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh,
we're
we're
seeing
seeing
it
an
one
80
trade.
carry duel.
Wow.
Whoa, those crits, League of RNG. Here comes the calling, the flash and heal burned out from Signy, and he's just got to be backing away right now.
We are seeing a Thornmail rush coming out of Thresh here, finally picking up his Sightstone most recently, and maybe we'll see some counter vision coming out from Olympus finally.
Is Dark Xerox a prophet? Did he know that Lucian was going to get so ahead?
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but we'll be seeing some lifesteal coming out of them for sure here soon. It's not going to do too much to Xin Zhao.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Xin Zhao's got that
caught
lifesteal.
out. Xerox a little bit caught out, forced to flash over the wall there, but here comes Xin Shao, and a nice flash from Lucian over the wall, and Spidey is unstoppable, picking up the kill with that Arcano Pulse. Ooh, the stun just barely missing on the backside of Wine.
Oh jeez.
Uh-oh.
You got me on this yawn spree now, man.
Alright.
Oh, we're
Oh,
actually
man,
seeing a
Vi's-
lot of early Thornmails coming out
Vi's
this game.
turning around onto Lucian down here in the bot lane. It's going to be a 1-for-0. Lucian actually does get the crit at the end there, finishing off Vi. Well played.
As I was just saying, though, we're actually seeing a couple early Thornmails. Maokai opting to pick up his before he finished up his second item. Rod of Ages and a Thornmail completed on him, and looks like it's working out for him. He just traded out against that Darius, and Darius was too scared to fight him and actually had to back off and walk away there.
Yeah, there's so many bruisers this game. Xin Shao, Darius, Vi. Maokai could even be considered a bruiser, and I think that's why these teams are building these Thornmails. They're just afraid of all this AD coming out, so. League of Thornmails, boys. It went from League of Atmogs to League of Sunfire Cape Spirit Visage, and now we've got League of Thornmails.
gosh. Atmogs was the thing, man. I loved that. That was like my favorite thing ever put into the game was Atmogs, but they've ruined it, and it's heartbreaking though.
Well, Atmos Impaler isn't even in the game anymore. Cryface. Buy your
Really? I
tears,
thought they
boys.
took it out of 3s. Did they take it out of 5s too?
I think so, yeah.
I'm curious. Can't
We'll
shop
find out.
on it.
Oh, Cassiopeia forced to flash out here. Here comes the Scrying Orb. And Xerath's going to get a nice another Arcano Pulse. Is the ult going to land? No, it's not. As the other 2 shots, it's going to look like it's going to be enough. And Spidey picking up another
Scripter
kill
confirmed.
on Cassiopeia. Oh, man, a nice stun onto the backside of Darius. That's so much damage coming out from Winston and Spidey as well. And Spidey is on point.
Yeah, this whole team's pretty snowballed at this point. It looks like Olympus is just fighting a losing battle, 21-5. Free kill down for Zinzao, popping his ult there actually to clean it up for the style points at the end.
Ooh, another flash stun from Spidey, picking up another kill, and I don't know what Olympus can do anymore. With a 48k gold to 34k, it's looking pretty bad for them.
Oh, somebody in the stream brought up the League of Black Cleavers as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. League of Black Cleavers was a thing when Black Cleaver first got reworked.
Yeah, and when Blade of the Rune King first came out, everybody stacked that too, because I was insane on release. I remember Bloodthirster, Blade of the Rune King. That was the thing.
But now it's going to be League of Leona diving into the turret and dying is what it looks like. They're going for the Nexus. Here comes the Cassiopeia ult from the backside. Vaz coming in as well. It might be too little too late,
Wow.
but Morgan's actually picking up some kills as well. A lot of AoE damage, but Xerath's going to be able to land a nice skill shot off the backside of the 2 of them. Cassiopeia finished off there by Lucian, and that's going to be the game. Over for Nafallo.
Yeah, Nafallos love taking a very, very convincing victory here. Every lane doing pretty darn solid. I don't know. That game was just kind of one-sided after the first like 5 or so minutes. We were seeing it come out interestingly for a little bit. You know, it was pretty close. Zinzao ganking, Vi ganking back and forth. Very high-pressure game, and then looks like Nafallo came out at the end there. That Zinzao definitely my MVP of the game.
Yeah, the Zinzao pick was very interesting. I liked it a lot. Nafallo knew what he was doing. He